me. Many of you have said, you know, I didn't really get this whole cloud thing until I came to QuickBooks Connect. And I heard, you know, the vision of where you're going, and I was like, okay, well, yeah, okay, I kind of see that. And then I would go to the app floor, and I learned new apps. I'm like, wow, that's dramatically better than the way I do it today, either to run my practice or to help my small businesses. And collectively, you see the community around you, and you hear things like, well, I had to really rethink how I value my time, or the impact I can have. And when you put all that together, along with, oh, and there's an industry that will actually help me, will help guide me along the way, be part of things like the Facebook groups, I can do it. And it's these events that create those connections of like, hey, I now get the vision, I can make it happen. And so that's why it's so important to me. Now, some of you show your love in different ways, and we feed off of that. That is the inspiration for why we do what we do. Some of you, like, for example, the Facebook groups that just asked Jeff, that's your contribution. Thank you. I enjoy answering that, most of those, at least. But some of you show love in different ways. Can we get the picture up? Okay, Sarah, I don't know where you are, Sarah, but I don't know how you beat me to the punch on this one. Woo! I'm thinking maybe tattoos next year, Brad. What do you think? I can see you doing that. Awesome. We are in for a wonderful morning. We've got Rich Priest. Rich is my great friend. He has been in a variety of roles around the company. So he brings a very kind of unique global perspective. So we'll have him up first, talk about kind of the vision of where we're headed, and some of like the big modules that we're kind of putting in place to deliver on the One Place vision. And then Malika, our rock star PM. Yeah. Woo! Malika is going to geek out on sales tax. All right.
Woo! Sales tax.
And many other things that we're doing kind of locally to like really fit QBO to our market. And then Scott Zambergen. Any Scott Z lovers?
Woo!
Yeah. So Scott is now moved into a community champion. How do we help move the industry along role? And so he is going to be interviewing the second global firm of the future, Yay Canada. So that's coming up. And then we've got John Montgomery. And what's unique about John is, at least on the personal front, there are two things that bring my family together. One is the Olympics, and the second is the Amazing Race. It seems to be the only show I can get everybody in my family to sit on the couch for. We're going to hear John's story, which I'm really, really excited for. And then, of course, we've got an afternoon of education and inspiration. It's going to be a great day. All right, you ready to get started?
Woohoo!
All right, let's bring to the stage Rich Priest. Please join me in welcoming Rich Priest.
Woo!
Good morning, everybody, and a very warm welcome to QuickBooks Connect Canada. Very excited to have everyone here today. Let me just start, actually, show of hands. Who has been to QuickBooks Connect before? Show of hands. All right, that looks like a good group. I'd say about half. And now raise your hand if you've never been to QuickBooks Connect before.
Wow.
Okay, so I would
Oh, there's
say
a lot of people that haven't been
split.
here. Newbies.
Well, I promise we have a treat in store for you today. If you've been before, you have a good idea of what it's going to look like. If you haven't, I promise we're going to take good care of you. QuickBooks Connect is, as Jeff mentioned, the premise of it is to educate, to inspire, and to connect. Educate, inspire, connect. Now, tomorrow is the main day. So tomorrow we bring together small businesses, we bring together self-employed, we bring together our developers, as well as our accountants and bookkeepers. But today is all about us. Today is all about just accountants and bookkeepers. And in the 25 minutes or so I have with you on stage, there's two things I'm going to try and accomplish. The first thing is, I really want to unpack that vision that we have for accounting professionals that Jeff mentioned. I want to make sure that we articulate it to you as clearly as we understand it, so you can actually hold us accountable. It's against that vision that we build the products and services that are designed to make you more successful, make your small businesses more successful, And so again, I really want you to know what that looks like and hold us accountable. And then also, I want to unpack the product innovations that have come through us in the last few months that bring that vision to life. And so you'll see some things that we released a few months ago that are sort of the greatest hits that accountants around the world love, and I'll make sure that you know about them. I'll share with you the functionality we've just released in the last few weeks that you might not know about yet, you might not have seen. And I'll tell you a little bit about what's coming as well. So you have a sense, you're almost behind the curtain, and you know what's coming in the product. So that is the intent, that's what I will hope to do in the next few minutes with you. Now, before I start, I wanted to share this picture. We got our accountants and bookkeepers from Montreal in the house. Shout out to Montreal. All right, there we go, good crew. Now, Jeff mentioned earlier this notion of a tribe. And when we think about QuickBooks and we think about the platform, QuickBooks is the platform, but the power of the platform is really all of you. It's accountants and bookkeepers working together, supporting each other. And this photo last year, for QuickBooks Connect, we had 42 accounting professionals join us from Montreal. They got on the same train, they decorated the train, as you can see. There was a party that went on. It's a little bit like Vegas, what happened on the train stays on the train, so I can't share any of those stories. But it really speaks to that sense of community, and we get to see it every day throughout the ecosystem of accountants that we have. And here is a data point or a fun fact that you might not know. In the last year, for every new accounting practice that has been formed and registered, there is 500 new small businesses.
Wow.
500 small businesses for every one new accounting firm registered. Now what that means is there isn't a competition problem, right? So as you look left and you look right today, I don't want you to look at what might look like competitors. I want you to look at people you can collaborate with, people you can help, they can help you. So that's kind of the premise of this, and I think those numbers speak to that. But also, we've been out there speaking to those new small businesses. And so obviously we have the good fortune of many of them select QuickBooks, and so we can talk to them, and we've learned that their expectations are changing. There is a shift in the expectations of these new small businesses, and I wanted to tell you a little bit about what that is. And so we now live in an era where data is free, and it's analysis that is expected. Clients no longer want you to manage their data, they want you to make sense of it. And they're looking for concrete guidance. They're not looking for what they could do. They're looking to you to tell them what they should do. And when we ask them, what kind of accounting professional are you looking for? They say, well, I'm looking for an accounting professional, but I'm also looking for a business and technology advisor. So please know that that's what they're looking for, business technology advisors who are also accounting professionals. Now the question then becomes, of course, how are we meeting those expectations as an industry? And the honest answer is, it's a bit of a mixed review. And I say that because this is some more data that we have pulled together in the last 6 months or so. When we talk to small businesses, they tell us that 76% of their accountants are reactive, not proactive. 3 out of 4 accountants in the eyes of small businesses are more reactive than proactive. And then when we ask accounting professionals, how do you feel? We ask the accountants and the bookkeepers, they don't feel great either. They actually tell us that they're concerned about their ability to adapt with their clients, and the biggest concern they have is keeping up with new technology developments. Well, the really good news, of course, is that's why we're here for the next couple of days, is to go on that journey together and learn these things together. And while it sounds scary, we're very fortunate in that across the QuickBooks community, QBOA is already 1 million accounting professionals strong. It is an amazing number. Throughout the globe, 1 million accountants and bookkeepers have selected QBOA. And right here in Canada, there are 60,000 accounting professionals using QBOA. Just raise your hand if you use QBOA already. Okay, so a good number of folks, and we'll go through a lot of this new functionality in a moment. Now, there is also 400,000 pro-advisors across the globe. Hands up if you're a pro-advisor. Okay, now keep your hand up if you're a certified pro-advisor. Okay, most of those hands stayed up. 140,000 certified pro-advisors. Now, of course, if you're certified, not only have you taken more training, and all of this training is free, but you can now go on the website where we connect you to small businesses, so we can help your practice grow. And it's not lost on us, and I'm sure on you as well, Canadians I know love to keep score, that after the US, there are more pro-advisors in Canada than any other country that we support. Boom! Boom! There it is! And because I got such an enthusiastic yeah, I'll also tell you a higher percentage of certified pro-advisors in Canada than any other country. So congratulations, you guys are definitely doing right by your clients. Now, we also have a whole number of training events.
Woo!
Which moments from now?
Training
There we go,
events.
750 training events every year. So get plugged in if you're not already. I know that here many of you are. Obviously, that's a wonderful thing to do. Now, on the other side of the equation, we recently announced that if we look at our QuickBooks Online and self-employed customers, over 3.5 million now in that QuickBooks ecosystem. We announced recently over 200,000 of them are right here in Canada. And I know that Jeff and the team are particularly proud that we launched QBO in Canada in 2012. It took 4 years to get the first 100,000 small businesses using QBO. It took less than 2 years to get the next 100,000. Now we're over 200,000. So you can see the pace of change is so rapid all around us. As small businesses are looking to the cloud, they're looking for the benefits of working with an accounting professional in the cloud. And then I also wanted to touch on the fact that, again, if you're a certified pro-advisor, you can be on our Find a Pro-Advisor platform. If you're not, you really should be. This is where small businesses who are not working with an accountant. Now, about 56% of all small businesses in our network already work with an accountant. But of course, that means that there's a little over 40% who are not yet working with an accountant. 1 million of them come to us, come to QuickBooks every year and say, please connect me with an accounting professional. Now, we know that 89% of small businesses say they're more successful when they work with an accounting professional. 9 out of 10, they tell us they're more professional, more successful when they work with you. So we try to connect them. And 1,000 times a day, we successfully make a connection. So again, if you're not on that platform, please get on that platform because we will connect you to small businesses looking for your services. And 1,000 times a day, that successful connection is made, which of course means a new client for you and a client who is going to be more successful because they're working with one of you. Now, I mentioned earlier that vision, and you may have seen this before, but it's very, very simple. We actually view this as a 1-2 punch. Our job is to help you grow and manage all of your practice and all of your clients across all of the services you offer in one place. Now, by the way, all of your clients means QuickBooks clients and non-QuickBooks clients. So much of the functionality we build is to support you and all of your clients. It's not just to support QuickBooks clients. And if we go one click deeper, you can see here that it's across all of the services, whether it's data in, banks, whether it's bookkeeping, work papers, and tax, and I'm going to touch upon all of that today. And so let's bring that to life a little bit and show you some of the product innovations. Now I'm going to start with something that I shared on this stage last year, which is practice management. Now this was a new feature that we released last year. We've been building every single month, and I can now tell you that tens of thousands of accountants around the world use this. And we have never released a feature which increases our Net Promoter Score so much as this one feature. And so I'll show you just very quickly what it is, but if you're not yet using practice management, it's completely free. It's inside QBOA. I strongly recommend that you take a look at it because it's something I think can be very valuable for you. And let's just take a quick look together. And so again, if you haven't seen it, when you log into QBOA, for those of you that use QBOA, you'll be very familiar. The view that you will see is your client list. Now, again, quick reminder, your client list isn't just your QuickBooks clients. You can manage all of your clients inside QBOA.
Are you going live? I'm on live.
Our job is to support your practice, not just to support your QuickBooks clients. And so this is all of your clients. Now on the left-hand side, you'll see that Work tab. When you click on that Work tab, This now is practice management. It's going to give you a calendar view of everything that's going on in your firm. Now, you can start selecting things by, for example, an employee in your firm. So you can then take a look at what is the cut of work just for one employee. So if I worked in your firm, I can come in on a Monday morning, I can log in, I can select myself, and I can see what is the work that I have outstanding across all of our clients that I have to do today, this week, this month, what's overdue, what's coming up next month. I get that view in one single click. And I can also do the same thing by client. So if I've got a meeting with a client on Monday, I can come in here, I can get ready for that meeting by looking at what outstanding work do I have, what work is completed, perhaps what have I let fall through the cracks that I captured right here. And this thing just gets better and better all the time. You can see here, each product has a set of tasks. So at any time you can go in, you can set up a project, and under that project, there's many, many tasks. You actually asked us to include templates. It was one of the most commonly requested features actually from Canadian accountants and bookkeepers. What you specifically told us is, it takes me 20, 30 minutes to set up each new client, and if I could just build templates and actually benefit from templates that you've built, that will go into seconds. So you can see here, manage templates. We've actually built templates. That's now completely live.
Woohoo!
And so I would encourage you, if you haven't already, go in, take a look at practice management. It is literally changing the way people
And there's Veronica. Hi, Veronica.
But now I want to tell you about some other features that you haven't probably heard of because they're coming here in the very near future. Now the first one we call freedom from your inbox. And so this is interesting. We did Follow Me Homes. I know it sounds a little creepy, but this is how we do research. We come to where you work.
They'll come and find you.
Work, and we call it Follow Me Homes, and we watch the way they work. So we don't so much ask as we watch, and then we figure out how we can solve problems. And one of the things we noticed was that the average accountant or bookkeeper is spending 12 hours a week in email. Now, I must confess, I think I probably spend more than 12 hours a week in email. And so this, of course, is a place where rather than working on the business, you're sort of working in the very nitty-gritty and just being responsive. This is back to this, people saying we're not proactive, we're responsive, probably because we're in email half the time. And so we started to ask, what can we do about that? And so we are in the process of building a piece of functionality where you can now simply take an email that comes to you from a client that has some work requested from you, and you can forward it to QuickBooks, and we will populate it straight into practice management. And I'll show you exactly what that's going to look like for you. Yeah, it looks very cool. So here's what it looks like. This is an example of an email that's been sent to me. Now, behind the scenes, what we've done here, we're using AI and natural language processing to basically take out the actions that are within this email. And it turns out there's basically two actions in this email. The first one is to set up a meeting. The next one is to send all the financial reports. And so if I simply forward this email to QuickBooks, what's going to happen next is it's going to create a project, and it's going to start to create work within that project. Now you can see here, this is going to get populated for me. I didn't have to do anything except forward the email. I'm going to assign it to somebody at my firm. And then it's going to pop up immediately. It's going to be on my practice management dashboard. I'm good to go. And so that is something that is coming very, very soon. In a moment, I'll tell you how you can sign up for a beta for it. But imagine now just forwarding emails to QuickBooks, and all of that data is going to show up, and all of those tasks are going to show up in practice management. Now, it's interesting. Thank you. Now, it's interesting because as we were doing these Follow Me Homes, there's another thing we noticed as well. And what we noticed was some accounting professionals spend up to 35% of their time chasing down clients for certain things like bank statements. Right? It's not effective work, you can't bill for it, but it sometimes takes a long time. And so we thought, what can we do to address that problem? And so what we did and what we've built is, when a client connects to a financial institution and they download their transactions, not only are you going to have access to their transactions, you're going to have access to the actual statements themselves. And let me show you. Oh, I like it.
Can we say
I like it. So let me show you a little bit about what that's going to look like. So you can see here, when you log into your QuickBooks online client file, You're on the reconcile page, and you can see here for the first time view statements, just there roughly in the middle of the screen. Now when you view those statements, we're going to explain to you what is it, because it's brand new. And then once we've explained to you what it is, you're going to have a list of the actual statements. So if you have a question, rather than chasing it down from the client, it's now going to be right there for you. You simply select the statement that you want,
Awesome.
and boom, there it is. The statement's going to come up. You have the source doc. Thank you. And the other exciting thing is, across FIs, we have almost 90% coverage in Canada, which is the largest coverage of any country in the world. So this thing is going to work, and it's going to work for the vast majority of your clients, which is awesome. Now, those things are brand new. We're announcing them actually in Canada, both of those features, the email feature and the statements feature, announcing them here today. And then in a moment, I'm going to flash up a website link. And so I'd encourage you to get your cameras out if you want to join a beta, because you can join a beta for both of these. Now, we're going to do what we always do, which is we'll take the first 250 and we'll put you in the beta, because we like to have that group that we can just work with for a month or so, and then we release it to everybody. And so if you want to go to the beta, simply snap a picture here. You can go there at any point in the next couple of hours. Just give us your name and contact info. We will add you to that beta, and you'll have early access in the coming days here to those two pieces of functionality, which is awesome. Now, you remember when I talked about the vision, I also talked about this is managing all of your work. And of course, we know that a lot of that work involves tax as well. And so what I want to do now is give you an update on work papers and tax specifically. And so let's start with work papers. Now specifically, what we're trying to do here is save you time. So just so you know, when you're in our heads when we're building this functionality, we have a target to save 50% of the time you currently spend working on any client. So that's what we're measuring ourselves against, basically halving the time it takes you to work with a client. And it's been a little over a year since we launched Work Papers here in Canada. A year-end tool built right into QuickBooks, and it's a place where you can complete your adjusting entries, attach your working papers, and watch as it automatically assigns the Giphy codes to help create the Giphy file for tax prep. And we've heard some good feedback, but we've also heard that there's a lot more we need to do and could do, and that's what we've been working on, and that's what I want to tell you about. So we've been listening, and we've been enhancing the offering. And you'll soon be able to see comparative data, notes, and supporting docs all on a single screen. Everything at a glance. So I know in the first version there was far too much clicking around, and so very soon all of it's going to be on a single screen, notes included, all at a glance. We've also heard that you really want account mapping to create lead sheets, and the ability to create financial statements from those lead sheets. We're building that as well. So we're about halfway done. Now here's the ask of you guys today. As we build it, as many of you know who have worked with us for a long time, we like to build things with you as well as for you. And so right outside the room here, next to the QuickBooks Connect booth, you'll find a team of folks who are rapid prototyping this exact functionality. So if you have 5 minutes today, please grab a coffee, stop by, give them your feedback, and tell them what you like and what you don't like. And that's how we build products. We build it based on your feedback. So while this work is underway, we'll show you where we are, and we'd love your feedback and guidance, and that's Work Papers. Now, also, I want to talk about tax. I'm thrilled to announce the first professional income tax solution built directly into QBOA, and we call it ProTax. This is T2, it's live and in product now. T2's been live in product now for a few months, and T1 is coming very soon. Over the past, cool, thank you. Now, some of you have been working with us on T2. Over the last 6 months or so, we've actually had 500 Canadian accountants and bookkeepers working with our team on the functionality. It starts with Giphy data from Work Papers. It then automatically imports into ProTax S100 and S125. Ooh. Now, ProTax, as I mentioned, is fully built now into QuickBooks. And you can quickly check out the numbers. It's got a built-in auditor, which will also catch any potential issues. And you can securely e-file online. So all of that is built. As I mentioned, the good news is T1 is also coming. It's available on any browser. So for those of you that use Mac, I use Mac. Finally, there's a tax product for you. So good news if you use a Mac as well. Thank you. And if that wasn't good enough news, Jeff and the team have made the T2 e-filing completely free through June. And so again, if you want to use this completely free through June, as with a lot of this, I'm giving you the kind of the flyby version. Stop by the booth. It's right in the middle of the exhibit hall. We've got a ton of the amazing Canadian team here who will share all of the information. And if you want to sign up for any of this, you absolutely can. Completely free of charge, of course. And so let's also have a quick peek at what's next. Well, we're not done with T2, as I mentioned. We know there's lots of work to do. And so we're going to continue developing that in the next 12 months. You can hold us accountable to that. And as I mentioned, we're also going to be working on T1, and you can sign up for that beta as well at the booth. And so again, we love having you guys in these early betas. We love it when you tell us what you like, and we love it just as much when you tell us what you hate. And I promise we work on it and we fix it. So again, each of these have betas. And so what does all of that mean for the future of tax? Well, we're not too far away. Imagine seeing your client's expected tax obligation at any part of the year. That is what we are now close to. Imagine being able to do scenario planning with your clients at any part of the year and advise them on where they should make investments for the future. Right? It seems like it's a long way away. I promise you it's not. That future is now very, very close. And as you join these betas, that's exactly what you will get to see. Now, I'll spend the last few minutes talking about how we're helping you manage your practice across practice management, workflow, work papers, and tax. I just want to spend the last couple of moments telling you about how we're also going to help you grow. Now, again, as we sort of watch you and we work with you and we understand your workflow and how it's changing, and we look at these new clients that are coming in with new expectations, there's another interesting thing that we noticed. And what we noticed was, as you try to figure out which client to pick, how much to charge them, what kind of services they're going to require, that takes an average of 4 hours. I see a lot of heads nodding. It takes a long time to accurately price a client, and if you get it wrong, it's hard work to go back and change all of that, obviously, once you've set the expectation with the client. So we asked ourselves, what can we do differently? How can we help? And so we have actually built something which I think you're going to be super excited about, and it's actually just recently gone live, so you can start to see this as well. And so let me show you how it works, and we call it Client Overview. Imagine you have a new prospect you're trying to win as a client. Maybe they came to you on the Find a Pro Advisor platform. I know a number of accounting professionals get all of their new clients from that platform. And that first call goes well, and you say, hey, just go ahead and invite me through QBO as your accounting professional. And then once they've invited you, the next time you log into their QBO account, you get to see this overview tab that you can see here for the first time. So this is brand new. Now, what we're doing here is sharing how the company is set up so you can make informed decisions. You'll see whether they have payroll, whether they have sales tax turned on, which might help you decide what additional services might be required. You'll also see what apps they've connected to. Now, the reason that's important is you know where the data is coming from and what data you can expect automatically. Now, next we're going to show you the banking activity. You'll see how the client's books are set up. You'll see how many transactions you're dealing with. We'll also show you common issues that they probably don't know about, so they're not going to raise to you in that early consultation. Now, whether it's uncategorized transactions, whether it's negative balances, this is basically a powerful view that's going to eliminate much of that time that's going to be cleaning up the books. And it's going to tell you in minutes the state of the books and approximately how much you need to charge, and specifically kind of how you need to think about this new client before you set an expectation that then is challenging to change when you move forwards. And while that is live today, and many of you may not have seen it, because again, it just went live here in the last couple of weeks, when we think about where we're going next, what we're thinking about is that client who has way too many transactions and undeposited funds. Do they require training? Right? We want to let you know that so you can bundle training in when you actually do that estimate for them. Coming soon, we're giving you more information to give you a sense for the monthly volume of transactions, including how many bank transactions come on average each month and how much AR and AP work there might be going forwards. So that's what specifically we're going to give you next as well. And you can see that on here with that transaction volume, which will be monthly at the bottom. That's coming soon. And then last but not least, the other piece of this that we're building is imagine a world where you can take that client overview and we will actually populate the data for you into an engagement letter that you can attach your notes and you can simply send to the client.
Woo!
And so again, we're making it as easy as possible from that first engagement. engagement to understand the books, understand the complexity, and then set up a service and a system all from within QuickBooks where you can send that to that client. Now, what I've done is tried to show you just a few of the examples that ladder back to the vision. And again, I've done that because I want you to hold us accountable to that vision of helping you grow and helping you manage all of your clients across all of the workflow throughout your practice. Hopefully, the examples I've shared really bring to life the fact that we are dedicated and committed to your success. And we judge your success in large part by the success of your clients as well. So ultimately we have the same end goal here, which is the success of those small business clients. And hopefully you can see these are the tools that will hopefully help you get there. And so I am super excited and honored to have shared that with you. Now, I am often just the mouthpiece to this. The real hard work gets done by the product leaders in the respective markets. And with that, it is my great pleasure to announce to stage now Malika, who is one of those product rock stars right here in Canada. Malika.